Hello, welcome to another innovative video about Horizon Europe Innovation Action Calls. My name is Rui Silva, and in this session I will briefly present you some of the grant opportunities within Cluster 5, which regards to climate, energy and mobility. This cluster supports the implementation of the Paris Agreement and several of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, by creating more jobs, accelerating economic and social transformation through faster digitalization and by generating innovation-based inclusive growth. These activities are expected to aid Europe to recover from COVID-19 crisis, contributing directly to the Commission priorities, namely the European Green Deal, Europe fit for the digital age, and an economy that works for people. This cluster gains additional importance following Russia's military aggression against Ukraine, as the European Commission published the Repower EU communication, which emphasized the need to ramp up rapidly and efficiently the clean energy transition, moving towards the elimination of Europe's dependency on Russian fossil fuels imports. Just a brief note before we proceed. If you are not familiar with the terminology used in Horizon Europe and you need a high-level introduction, please see the first video of this series before continuing this one. The work program for Cluster 5 presents the following group of calls, namely Climate Science and Responses, Cross-Sectoral Solutions for the Climate Transition, Sustainable, Secure and Competitive Energy Supply, Efficient, Sustainable and Inclusive Energy Use, Clean and Competitive Solutions for All Transport Modes, Safe, Resilient Transport and Smart Mobility Services for Passengers and Goods. In the current video, we will focus specifically on the second and third groups, which are highlighted in bold. The first destination chosen for this session regards to cross-sectoral solutions and for the climate transition. Proposals for topics under this destination are thus expected to support a clean and sustainable transition of the energy and transport sectors towards climate neutrality, facilitated by innovative cross-cutting solutions. In turn, the second destination considers sustainable, secure and competitive energy supply. And, in overall terms, proposals should address new solutions for smart grids and energy systems, based on more performant renewable energy solutions, expected to support an efficient, clean, sustainable, secure and competitive energy supply throughout. This is the first call we will present under cross-sectoral solutions, focused on non-lithium batteries. Non-lithium-based batteries have the potential to provide solutions for integration of renewables by providing energy storage solutions, either standalone or as part of larger grid. Therefore, this call intends to contribute to build a European economic base which is stronger, more resilient, competitive and fit for the green and digital transitions, by reducing strategic dependencies for critical raw materials. The ambition is to set out a clear route to a feasible European-based supply chain that reduces reliance on critical raw materials, substituting with abundant, non-toxic, inherently safe raw materials, minimizes the impact of possible international trade disruptions and customs tariffs, taking account of the requirements for a range of stationary storage use cases. Therefore, projects for this call are expected to contribute to all of the following outcomes: development of post-lithium cell chemistries with target cell and system level cost, safety, energy density and power metrics suitable for selected stationary energy storage markets, credible projected storage costs of less than 5 cents per kilowatt-hour per cycle by 2030, particularly for applications with a storage durations of minimum 8 hours, demonstration of system operated in end-user condition for at least 3,000 hours, projected product life of 5,000 cycles in operating conditions typical of the selected application, a battery storage solution that works safely and efficiently across a wide range of ambient conditions, and finally, a defined concept for demonstrable, high sustainable, circular manufacturing for the selected battery type, with sustainability measured in terms of recognized economic, environmental, social and ethical metrics. In terms of scope, this proposal should advance the development of non-lithium battery systems, show their potential to be manufactured at scale at a cost the market will bear, and which meet regulatory requirements, including regulations for the recycling, reuse of batteries. Projects may target any stationary storage applications, from a few kilowatts in small-scale domestic behind-the-meter units to many megawatts in large unit-scale front-of-meter installations. Safety concerns become especially prominent as installation sizes increase due to huge amount of stored chemical energy. This topic is open to all non-lithium battery chemistries. Specifically, projects are expected to develop and demonstrate sustainable and safe non-lithium battery solutions from abundant, non-toxic raw materials capable of deployment in large share of stationary energy storage markets, aligning the safety and sustainability assessment with the Commission recommendation on safe and sustainable by design chemicals and materials. Develop and demonstrate an innovative non-lithium battery technology with energy density and power metrics suited to the stationary energy storage applications, and prove the battery system sustainability and compatibility with a European supply chain. Finally, risks will be demonstrably managed to the lowest possible level and within standard acceptable societal limits for toxicity and safety. In addition, projects under this call are encouraged to, from a technical perspective, to develop new materials that improve techno-economic performance and the ability to meet sustainability targets, show how cell and system design and material improvements optimize technico-economic performance by defining technical and commercial targets, and quantified success criteria (KPIs) by which progress toward achieving the targets may be evaluated during both the development and the validation phase of the project, and demonstrate minimal towards no maintenance requirements. On the other hand, from a broader perspective, projects should demonstrate a credible commercial and technical path from end-of-project outcomes to a stationary energy storage product, and which takes account of the future manufacturing and recycling requirements, and provide evidence of current and future sustainability, viable European supply chains, and rigorous analysis of the complex sustainability and recyclability issues, including compatibility with regulation, including recycling regulations. In line with the points mentioned right now, plans for the exploitation and dissemination of results should include a strong business case and sound exploitation strategy, including preliminary plans for scalability, commercialization, and deployment, here indicating the funding source to be potentially used in the future, in particular the Innovation Fund. Finally, proposals should indicate which chapters of the Strategic Research and Innovation Plan for Chemicals and Materials they will contribute, and in order to achieve the expected outcomes, international cooperation is encouraged for use cases, particularly with India, Africa, and Australia. Just a final note, projects focused on materials discovery for novel chemistries are out of scope. However, material refinements of new chemistries undertaken to achieve performance, sustainability, safety, and cost targets are in scope. The second call presented in this session aims at demonstrating sustainable wave energy pellet farms. Projects are expected to contribute to the following outcomes: de-risking wave energy technology development and increased bankability and shareability of wave energy, increased availability and improved market confidence in the technology, increased knowledge on positive and negative impacts of ocean energy on its environment, and, in the case of negative impacts to protected habitats and species, you should propose necessary mitigation measures. And finally, publicly available data collected from the demonstration pilot structure, including support structure. The demonstration of sustainable wave energy pilot farms with a minimum 2 megawatts installed capacity and 4 devices in full operational conditions for long periods of the time is essential to advance this sector. This is the way to bridge the gap from technology development to market development while reducing costs, risks, and attracting investors for future commercial projects. The farms should be composed of several devices of the same type. Projects are expected to deploy a wave energy farm and operate it for at least 2 years in the lifetime of the project. After the project, the farm should continue to be operated for at least 8 years. The projects should develop and execute an effective operation and maintenance program. Proposals are expected to address also all the following for both the supporting infrastructure for the farm and for the individual devices themselves. Industrial design and manufacturing processes, including setup of an industrial supply chain, circularity of critical raw materials, sustainability, scalability, installation methods, transport, operation and maintenance, supply chains, and the related digital infrastructures. Demonstrate technology at sea while respecting existing environmental regulatory framework. Also, necessary mitigation measures should be integrated to protect habitats and species. Projects should present an environmental monitoring plan to be implemented during the demonstration action. Environmental monitoring data should be open source and be shared with MODNet and the Ocean Energy Systems environmental tasks from the International Energy Agency. Projects must include a clear go, no-go moment ahead of entering the deployment phase. Before this go, no-go moment, the project has to deliver the detailed engineering plans, a technico-economic assessment including key performance indicators based on international recognized metrics, a complete implementation plan, and all the needed permits for the deployment of the project. In this sense, projects are expected also to demonstrate how it will get a financial close for the whole action. The exploitation plans should include preliminary plans for scalability, commercialization, and deployment similar to what was mentioned in the first call. Data from the pilot structures should be collected to understand the performance and behavior of the structure and the surrounding environment condition, to optimize the concept and understand the environmental impact of wave energy harvesting. Finally, the selected projects are expected to contribute to the Bridge initiative, actively participate to its activities, and allocate up to 2% of their budgets to that end. Additional contributions to the Alliance for Internet of Things Innovation and other relevant activities, such as clusters of digital projects and coordinating actions, might be considered when relevant. This last call is focused on photovoltaic power generation as pivotal in the transition to a clean energy system and the achievement of a climate-neutral economy. To this end, it is important to enhance affordability, security of supply and sustainability of the photovoltaic technology, along with further efficiency improvements. The European Commission is interested in securing supply and retaining the whole value chain in the EU member states, as well as in associated countries, for which technology de-risking is a necessary step. Consequently, project results in this call are expected to contribute to all of the following outcomes. Contribute towards establishing a solid European photovoltaic innovation and production base, reduce the CAPEX and OPEX in the photovoltaic solar production chain, ultimately leading to cheaper models and lower levelized cost of electricity. And finally, reinforce sustainability of the European photovoltaic value chain, building a secure, resilient, and diverse domestic energy sector industrial base. Within the scope, the proposals are expected to demonstrate alternative processes and equipment for photovoltaic manufacturing with reduced CAPEX, OPEX, energy and material consumption, and implement Industry 4.0 concept. Increase the productivity and sustainability of large-scale photovoltaic manufacturing equipment and processing, for example, by the enhancement of the throughput, for instance by roll area per unit of time, the yield through process control, the availability, for example by optimizing uptime and service time, and finally the quality control. The last measure is to involve multidisciplinary consortia, including industrial partners. Once again, a plan for the exploitation and dissemination of results should include a strong business case and sound exploitation strategy, as previously mentioned in the other calls. Projects should build on or seek collaboration with existing projects and develop synergies with other relevant European, national or regional initiatives or funding programs, as well as platforms. Where relevant, proposals should seek links with and capitalize on the results of past and ongoing EU-funded research projects, including the ones under the Health Cluster and the Cluster of Food, Bioeconomy, Natural Resources, Agriculture and Environment. You can have a look at our videos on the latter cluster. Please note that there are several calls we do not present, and therefore you can see a list on your screen now with the other calls under Cross-Sectoral Solutions for the climate transition. Please keep in mind that the deadlines for these calls are on the 18th of April 2024 and on 5 of September 2024. Regarding destination sustainable, secure and competitive energy supply, the deadlines for the calls you see on your screen are on the 16th January of 2024. If any of these calls or the previously shown ones are more relevant to you, we will be happy to discuss these with you in a meeting. If you would like to discuss an innovation action and the potential fit for your company, please get in touch with us through the contacts you now see on your screen. Thank you.